Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carryandcut YouTube channel. And if you're new here, I sure do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. Also check out our Instagram at Carryandcut and our Patreon at Carryandcut. Really do appreciate all the support from the patrons out there. All the proceeds go directly back to the channel to buy new knives and new equipment to make the quality and the content better for you guys. So today we are going to be looking at another knife from our good friend Jimmie Crowe. Jimmy, really do appreciate you sending this over for us. And this is actually one of the few times we get to see a Jimmie Crowe knife come to the channel that's not customized. So this is a stock Byrd Cara 2. So if you guys are not, in the know about Byrd knives, it is a, I guess I want to say a budget line of Spyderco knives. So I know Spyderco does have their own, kind of budget-oriented knives, especially the ones coming out of China, like the Tenacious and some other. I can't even think of all the other ones' names. There's a whole bunch of them, but the Tenacious is just the one that pops off my head right now. But it's the same kind of that one's a liner lock. The Tenacious is, and I actually have one I'm going to be showing here soon on the channel. But this is going to be a kind of even more budget offering from Spyderco that you can get into. Of course, it doesn't have the same name or anything like that, but it's definitely pretty similar. I mean, even look at the packaging. If you guys are aware of Spyderco's packaging. And I've showed it before on the channel, but it's pretty much the same exact thing. Different color, different name. Overall, going to be coming from the same, family line, family tree. Bird of a feather flock together. That was a good bird joke right there. But, if you guys look at the thumbnail of this video, I kind of put it, flipping the bird. I know there's no flipper tab on this thing, but you're still, I want to say flipping it, rolling it out in action. But definitely a pretty cool knife. Not really, I was kind of thinking what this knife was going to be designed off of, or like kind of where it gets its heritage or whatever from. And I just I picked out the of course the PM2. It's not going to be the same knife whatsoever. The blade shape's all different, the handle's all different. Of course, this is a compression lock made in USA, but I did have so I'm not going to do a comparison yet for size, but it does oddly look like the Endura. So that's pretty cool. We're going to keep that one tucked away for now. Just some overall specs and everything on this knife first. So we have 8CR 13 MOV on the blade steel, which is of course not the best stuff in the world, but for the price of this thing, under $40, $39.75 for this whole knife here, and it's a pretty smoking deal for what you're getting, I think personally. So it's a pretty overall good quality, pretty good quality knife. It's nothing to really write home about, but at the same time, it's still pretty cool. If you're looking at getting into Spyderco collecting, I know it doesn't have the Spyderco name on it, but still, you're pretty much getting that family heritage of it. And this will get you in there at a very good entry-level beginner price at the same time. So this would be a good knife to give to somebody that's not afraid of knives, wants to get into knives. It's easy to use. If anybody's ever seen a Buck 110, I mean, they know what the back lock's about. They're going to be able to operate this thing, and that's the whole beauty behind the mid-mounted backlock. And I'm not sure if Spyderco really, trademarked it, or they're the ones that started doing the mid-mounted backlock. Of course, there was backlocking knives for a whole long time, but they really emphasized the use and usability of one-hand opening on their knives. I know that is a huge thing for Spyderco. Ergonomics are one thing. Looks is not even a thing in their playbooks, at least not for now. I don't know if it ever really has been. People say Spyderco knives are the ugliest things in the world. I beg to differ. Even the Byrd knives, they're still pretty cool too. So we do have FRN on the handles, and I really do like the texture that it gives you. This bidirectional texturing. It's definitely pretty cool, grippy. So no matter what way you're holding it, up, down, sideways, left, right, you're still getting that same amount of useful traction and grip, which is pretty cool to see. And I did also do some research on this knife, and I figured out that this is a comet hole. So like your traditional Spyderco round thumb hole, this is a comet thumb hole. So that's pretty cool to see also. And one thing to say about the Byrd knives, their edges are extremely sharp. Let's go ahead and get a little piece of paper out here. Jimmy gives me this cheat sheets all the time, so he breaks down what all these knives do. So let's go ahead and look at that. That thing is just crazy sharp. And they say that Spyderco, they like to say that their edge is a ghost, and they're definitely not lying. We do have a super slicey, super thin blade stock on this thing. I'm not sure if my mics are going to do it, but we're going to go ahead and try to get a baseline. So we're looking at 80 thousandths on this thing. which is you know, it's probably obviously not that accurate, but gonna be close enough. With moral of the story, it's super thin, super slicey, full flat grind on this thing. It's gonna slice like nobody's business. We do have a 4-way adjustable pocket clip, so either left, right, tip up, or tip down. Perfectly ambidextrous knife with that mid-mounted back lock. Anybody and their brother should be able to use this thing, or sister, mom, dad, cousin, uncle, whatever you want to do. Anybody's be able to use this thing and have fun with it. And that's the whole, you know, good part about this knife. You know, there's going to be your, you know, whole bunch of hardware going on here. That's just how, you know, the cookie crumbles when you're actually looking at these knives right here. And, hold on, looks like we're having a low battery malfunction on the phone here. There we go. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up there. So overall, let's see, what did I miss? Went with ambidextrous design. We got the 4-way clip, the Comet thumb hole, FRN handle. We did the blade stock material and thickness, somewhat thickness, and the price. So let's go ahead and, of course, the ergonomic design of this thing too. Love all the different handheld holds you can do with it. Back here, choke back. You can choke up with this awesome finger choil area they have here, and the thumb ramp, which I love all that stuff. That's my favorite thing about Spydercos. They really get you locked in, ready for use. And even back here on the back, we even had some more, you know, jimping. It would be cool if they could put that on the actual lock face right there. That's not a lock face, but the lock bar. So let's do some overall size of this thing, if we will. And get the old roller out. I like to put it right there on the edge. Alright, so we're just about 8.5 inches on the overall length. Blade length is going to be coming in at, let's do almost 3 3/4. Pretty close to that. It's more than 3.5, more than 3 5/8, 3 3/4. And then overall sharpened edge is coming in right at that 3 1/4 mark. Of course, you know, all that edge is not going to be useful. Well, the sharpened edge is going to be useful all the way up to the actual whatever you call it, finger choil there, and the plunge grind. And of course, there is no actual sharpening choil on Spyderco knives. That is one thing that they do not like to do. They claim that, they claim that material can get trapped in there. So, not a big deal to me. I mean, you're still going to get all the way up to the edge when you're sharpening this thing. Actually, I can kind of show you what's going on with that before we weigh it. So, when you're actually sharpening, you can see you can get all the way up on there where your finger choil starts. You can get all the way down to that edge. So, really not a big deal. Alright, let's go ahead and get a weight on this thing. We are looking at, let's go zero him back out. Having fits, not wanting to work. There it goes. Alright, so we are at 3 ounces. So we are definitely over the ounce per inch on this one. And that's another great thing with the actual lightweight nature of these FRN handles. There is a little bit of a liner material going on the inside, not a crazy amount. If you guys probably can't see that in there, but there's a little bit of a kind of like, I don't want to even call it a cartridge liner, but there's definitely some liner in there to help some overall rigidity. So let's do some overall size comparisons. Let's lay it this way so the clip's not bouncing around on us. And this is what I was, you know, getting to, talking about this Spyderco Endura. This knife is probably 30 years older than this one here, but it is definitely has a striking resemblance. Overall size, it's going to be a little bit smaller than the Endura here, but the blade shape is, you know, pretty much identical. Other than this is a hollow grind, that one's a flat grind, but the same overall look of this thing is pretty much going to be the same. And this is a vintage Spyderco. This knife's almost as old as I am. And check out the handle material they have going on here and the actual texturing. I think it's like a volcano design. I think that's what they call it. Maybe not. This is a Delica, so you can kind of see the difference there of the different handle textures they got going on. So pretty similar. Of course, they're different in some aspects, but so there's the Delica. You know, definitely going to be smaller. That's a small Spyderco there. And then let's go ahead and do the Para 2. PM2, not Para 2, PM2. So pretty close overall size and length on that one. And let's do the Benchmade 940 just to round it out. That's a pretty popular one people might know of. And we're definitely going to be bigger than 940. So definitely a full-size knife without a doubt there. Definitely going to be a full-size knife and a great user. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Jimmie. Thanks for everything you do for us over here at the channel. Really appreciate you sending all your knives in for us to take a look at. Wouldn't be able to do it without you, especially being able to put out all this content. I know it's hard to do sometimes, especially when you're not a giant content creator. I don't even think that's going to be not even an influencer, just a person that puts knives up. But we don't have an unlimited budget, so people, subscribers that can help out the channel makes it all the difference in the world. So until next time, guys, thanks.